Hello everybody, welcome to week 5 of CEA. I'm just going to go over everything that we plan on doing this week, just like I do every week. But this video is here for you in case you missed something during class or you're unsure of something and you can't remember what all you're supposed to turn in. That's why this video is here. So first and foremost, you guys should be used to it. The video that I'm recording right now will be located right here for you to watch. And then as we go down, I'll go over all the different things we're doing. So the first thing we're doing is finishing 2.1, the lesson 2.1, which we will finish with residential wall systems. This is a PowerPoint. I have it here. It's not too terribly long. It just talks about residential wall systems. So building walls, wood frame walls, precast concrete, like HDL sustainable walls, and it just goes into a little bit more information about those. I am having you turn that in with a small note check like you guys are used to, so it's right there for you. The next thing on here is what we are missing in 2.1 due to COVID. So we are missing the utility shed design. So this is where we would go into Revit and we would actually design the utility shed. It's a 3-part process. It works you through all the different applications that Revit has. It shows you and teaches you how to use a bunch of the different tools and things such as that. But I have included the 3 PDF parts, I guess you could call it, that would walk you through that if we were in school. So you can take a look at it if you have Revit at home and you want to play around with it. I recommend it. It's a fantastic way to get you into the software and get you learning all of the things about Revit. It's a very complex software and you have to follow these directions to a T or else it won't work. That's what I've learned. Revit is very finicky. But one of the biggest things is this cutout section of the wall and roof. And it just shows you all the different things and all the different components of a wall section or a roof section. So it talks about the insulation, it talks about the rafters, the plywood sheeting, the asphalt shingles, and then it goes down and talks about the wall and all those different parts. So you can see all the different things. And those all have different insulation ratings, and we'll talk about that more when we get into that. And then finally, the concrete slab and the thickness of that. But since we can't do this, we are now going to move on to lesson 2.2, which is cost and efficiency. And then that brings me on to the last 2 things we're doing. So after you finish the note check and turn that in for the residential wall systems, we're done with lesson 2.1, and now we're moving on to lesson 2.2. So the first thing I have for you is the example utility shed. This is the utility shed you would have built, and you can see, you can zoom in pretty well on this. It goes into a lot of detail. Again, there's that cutout section. Gives you all the different views. East, north, west, south. Gives you an isometric. Gives you the first floor. Exterior wall section. So you're going to need that at some point. Then it is a PowerPoint. It is 2.2.1, estimating the cost for a concrete pad. So this is where now we are going into and starting to calculate things. We are going to be calculating the cost of a concrete pad. This is a PowerPoint. I'm not having you take notes on it because the assignment, they go together. However, it walks you through the process of estimating a concrete pad, and the size of it is 16 by 18. So it's going to walk you through it. So the first few slides are important. It just talks about common uses of concrete, reinforcing the bar with rebar inside the concrete to give it more strength. And then how much will concrete cost? So this is where the PowerPoint is going to walk you through an example, and I'm going to walk you through it in class as well, either on Zoom or in person, depending on where you are. I'm going to walk you through how to estimate the cost of a concrete pad. Now, it looks like a lot. It's not terrible, I promise. But this example that the PowerPoint goes over is for a 16 by 18 concrete pad. So we will be estimating the cost of the concrete, the cost of the rebar, and so forth and so on, to get the total. So it literally walks you through how you figure that out. So that is the PowerPoint, and I'm not having you take notes on that because you'll be using that in conjunction with the activity 2.2.1 concrete pad estimate. So here I have the instructions. So recommendation, I recommend that you print out this large example of the concrete slab so that you can draw on it to help you calculate the number of rebars that you will need. It's just the large cutout, 16 by 12. So this is slightly different than the one in the example, but you'll still use the same process to calculate this pad. So print this out. It allows you to draw on it and help you calculate or help you come up with the number of rebar and stuff like that. And then you will use this activity, which is also linked on the assignment, and you'll work your way through it. So it's going to ask you the quantity of concrete, the quantity of steel, the quantity of the forms, unit cost, and then total cost. And then there are a few questions at the bottom for you to answer as well. And then you'll turn that in when you're finished. You do not have to turn in this example. It's just there. If you choose to print it out and draw on it, it's just there for you to use. So that is everything that we are doing this week. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email or ask me in class. And I will see you guys in class on Monday.